Unfortunately, we were not able to negotiate an opening statement, but I'm here with Duquesne men's basketball coach Drew Joyce nonetheless. Drew, it almost feels like the opening statement was the tip-off event tonight, getting a chance to see familiar faces, try to meet new ones. Just what kind of a night does this mean for you, understanding that in less than a week's time here the ball's going to be up, or close to a couple weeks the ball's going to tip up in the air?
Yeah. More importantly, it's a chance to connect with our season ticket holders, our fans, our donors, our students here on campus. It gives them a little bit of insight and like a sneak preview of what we've been doing, and just trying to build some excitement. And it's great to be able to speak to them able to see our players, meet our players for the first time, and just kind of like you said, it builds that anticipation going into the season for November 3rd. It brings the energy, it brings the excitement.
June 10th is a date that meant two things in Pittsburgh. Of course, the U.S. Open started at Oakmont, but far more importantly, that was the start of practice for you guys and setting the temperature and the tone. Just what have you liked from this buy-in? And you never want to compare anything, but just what do you like about the energy and the ability to buy in and dial in?
Yeah, so we always get started in a non-basketball way. We meet with our sports psychologist, Dr. Joe Carr. We spent 3 days with him before we ever touched the basketball. That was our introduction period, and it's important because we want to establish, number one, what do we want our culture to be, right? What do we want our standards, our expectations to be? But also, we understand that we have to build a connection and a level of trust, and that was very important. And to get the guys buy-in through those early stages, when they're a little bit unsure of how things will go, it was refreshing to see, and we've just been able to build upon that day after day.
You mentioned Doc Carr. Obviously, Doc Carr is somebody that Coach Dambrot had an affinity towards as well. Just what kind of messaging that he brings do you like in terms of finding a temperature with this team?
He addresses the elephant in the room, and I think that he has a unique ability to do that. He has various strategies of bringing that out, but he also allows guys to feel courageous, to feel brave, to speak openly. He creates that type of environment, and I trust him. I've known him since I've been the age of 16. He's been a mentor in my life for so long, and it's just ultimately important and a plus to have him a part of our program.
Obviously, you can't talk about the scrimmage, although some know, some don't. That's on them. Just what did you like in real time, getting a chance to see them have an opponent that actually had a face to them, and just seeing that opportunity under the lights again?
Yeah, I think that was important, right? We played almost every day since we've come together in the summer, and sometimes you got some competitive guys in the room. They start to get on each other's nerves a little bit, and it was refreshing to see us come together, to really see what our connection looks like, to see not guys just play well, but guys supporting each other playing well. That's really key, right? When you have one guy go in and check in the game and he feels the energy and effort that he was delivering from the bench and clapping and rooting, he's getting that same love and energy from the guy who just subbed out. And I was really impressed by how we handled those situations, and we just rooted for each other, and we got to continue to do that because it's going to be some challenging times throughout the season. But that's the type of spirit and atmosphere I want around this team.
To see that already and to have that energy, like you said, sometimes ball doesn't go in, sometimes you don't get a stop, but energy can sustain. How important is it to realize that now and maybe have that going into day zero here versus maybe last year, and maybe you were trying to find it or figure out who was going to have it and what it would look like?
Yeah, we have to have a selfless behavior a little bit. It's human nature to be a little bit selfish and think of yourself. So the guys have to be willing to sacrifice and understand that, hey, there's a role that I play in this, and I have to be ready at all times, or I just have to star in what I do. And we tell the guys all the time, man, your role isn't necessarily who you are, but it's what I'm asking you to do. It's what the coaches are asking you to do, and we need you to be able to fulfill it. But it's never to diminish who you are as a person and your skill set. It's just what's best for our team, and it's a growing process, but I think we're continuing to build upon that.
You mentioned that there might be some new wrinkles to the offense. Obviously, wait until November 3rd for that. But with that being said, was that more of a, we watched film, we're breaking this down analytically, or was this more, hey, this is the team we have, let's play to their strengths?
It was not necessarily this is the team we have, let's play to their strengths. It's how we decided to build the team, right? There were some glaring issues that we seen offensively. Our rim production, how we finished around the rim, our free throw production, and we wanted to be able to fix those areas. And then just looking at data and history of how teams have continued to win, teams offensively that have had success not for just one season, but for 10 years plus and 15 years plus, and really try to find a way to establish what our identity needs to be, and incorporate some of the things that we can add to it. So nothing in the game of basketball is really new. It's just adding a wrinkle or two here, and that's what we've been able to do.
Hold on. We've talked so much about players, names, etc. Obviously, two guys that are coming back, Dave Duquesne, Jakob Netjes, guys that have gotten it done, have won a championship in terms of making the NCAA tournament. How important has it been having some semblance of health from them this offseason where they can maybe unleash what they're fully capable of being able to do?
I think both of them have had terrific off seasons. And sometimes, man, there is the importance of just staying around and gaining confidence and becoming more comfortable. I know those guys trust me, and I trust them. When I walked in here on June 10th, not only those two guys, Cam Crawford and Max Edwards, I've seen them for a whole year now. We know our quirks, we know what we're good at, we know our strengths and weaknesses. So there's a comfort zone there of knowing and believing and kind of understanding what you have, but you can't live in that comfort zone. You still got to push and motivate them to be in their best. But I'm really excited about Jakob and Dave in his final year. I think they're going to have some different seasons than in the past.
You mentioned the offense, but you mentioned the defense and keeping that a strength. How do you balance those two to make sure they show up and not just show up, but show up regardless of who the opponent might be?
Yeah, your defense has to show up regardless of who the opponent is, because there's so many variables that happen within the game, and you're going to need your defense to provide that winning ingredient to carry you through. We always want to be stout defensively. We want to dictate. We want to disrupt. We want to make people's lives very, very challenging and difficult. And then offensively, man, we just, as good as you are on defense, it's hard to win games in the 60s. So just the emphasis of increasing the pace and trying to get more possessions out of the game is a focal point for us, and we'll see how it goes. But we made the improvement and the adjustments since the beginning of the summer, and we're comfortable playing with pace.
What have you learned most about this team and why?
What have I learned most about this team and why? The thing I've learned most, and I'm continuing to learn, right, is that I have a really, really competitive group. And how do I make sure that I challenge them in the right way each and every day? And how do I make sure that they can carry that same competitive fire into the game? So that is a task that I have to prepare myself for day in and day out. And I look forward to it. I love the competitiveness. I share in that same value. So, but it's been a great experience so far, and I think it's going to continue.